I've broken a record for the amount of flights I've taken in the last 30 days. I actually did the math a couple days ago. In the last 30 days, I took an average flight every 3.8 days. I'll kind of walk you guys through what the last month of my life looked like. I started in Miami, then I traveled to LA for Halloween. After that, I took a flight over to Tampa to see some family. Then I went over to Orlando to meet some business partners. After that, I went over to Dubai to meet some connections. Then I took a flight to China to meet my supplier. After that, I took a little detour to South Korea because I was craving Korean barbecue. After that, I went all the way over to Germany to see the Christmas towns out there and meet some other entrepreneurs. After Germany, I went all the way over to Slovenia to meet a team member that I wanted to see for a while. After that, I went to Italy, and then after Italy, came back to Slovenia. After Slovenia, I went over to London to film some content. Then I finally came back to here in Miami, and I'll probably be leaving again in a couple days. So this all happened in the span of 30 days, and this is just another month in the life of somebody who makes money online. And I wanted to make a video talking about how traveling constantly has changed the way I think about money and work, because despite popular belief, I think my busy travel schedule has actually made me an amazing entrepreneur, actually better than most people I know. Now, for a lot of people who don't know who I am, my name is Samir Mithwani. I make over $20 million a year online using Shopify. We have a lot of different Shopify stores, e-commerce brands, you name it. We're the e-commerce Mongol in the space right now. And I've actually built my whole business traveling the world. Despite popular belief, I found that not having a routine, traveling and doing anything I want actually helped me build a real company. Like, even when I wasn't making much money, even when I was making just 10K a month, I would still travel. I remember bouncing around South America, booking one-way flights and living my best life. I truly believe, and when I was younger, I was gonna get this tattoo on myself. One way is the only way. And I honestly haven't booked a round-way trip or like a round-way ticket in the last God knows how many years. I travel like a fucking maniac. And I think it's been a huge contributor to my success. I'm gonna explain that in this video. So again, even when I started my journey, I was still doing this. It's not like I just made a bunch of money and now I travel because I have a whole team and all this money I can deploy into like labor and team costs. No, I've been doing this since I started. The first thing is it breaks all the myths that most entrepreneurs plant into your head. Now, most people tell you that you need to have a routine. You need to wake up at a certain time. You need to sleep at a certain time. You can only jerk off twice a week and you have to eat right. Like, they tell you all these stupid rules that if you follow these rules, you will magically make money and business will be easier. Now, don't get me wrong. Routines are good to some extent, and I don't travel and just go out every night. I still am pretty disciplined, to be fair. But it's a big misconception in the space. You can work at different times, work in different places, and live a fruitful life and still get the reaps of your benefit from working hard. At the end of the day, working hard is working hard. And as long as you're working hard from somewhere in the world, it doesn't matter. Productivity for the most part is a facade. You don't get productivity from a morning routine or being in a structured routine. You get productivity from actually working, right? Like, I know that's like common sense to a lot of people and it's a very duh thing to say, but it makes a lot of sense if you really sit down and think about it. By actually sitting down and working and pushing the needle, that's where the productivity lies, not in the facade and mental masturbation of having some sort of routine. And for the most part too, the actual work you do matters more than the amount of work you do. When I was traveling around, especially building my business, a lot of times I would have days where I didn't work. Like, I spent days exploring wherever I was, or the day was spent traveling and bouncing between connecting flights. That kind of built the mentality for me to where when I was working and I had my laptop pulled up in front of me, I had to make sure everything I was doing was the most effective thing. And this did something amazing for me. It cut out all my busy work. I would no longer do busy work. I would actually focus on work that actually pushed the needle. This is what Elon Musk and a lot of other top entrepreneurs talk about: signal versus noise. When you have signal, that means these are the things that are actually gonna make you more money, push the needle. These are the things that matter. Noise is the chatter, the small fluff, the tasks that come up left and right, the admin work that you don't really need to do, but it's easy to do, so you do it anyway. All the noise gets put out because let's say you only have 2 to 3 hours a day to work because you're bouncing between different countries. You have to focus on the signal and the noise automatically gets pushed out. A lot of people end up doing the noise because it's easier. And trust me, I've gotten in this rut before to where I'm following some sort of structured routine. I wake up, next thing I know, spending the whole day on WhatsApp or Slack responding to people, and I never get to the deep work. What traveling constantly has allowed me to do is block out the noise, because you legitimately just don't have time for it. You have to be more intentional with the work you do, and you end up actually getting forward quicker than you would otherwise. And I know it sounds very counterproductive, somebody coming online and telling you, hey, you can work less and make more. But if you really sit down and think about it, you can. If you work on the right things and you don't focus on the fluff, you'll end up becoming way more successful than just getting caught up in the fluff. And lucky to you, if you travel and you live a nomadic lifestyle, it kind of supports you having to lock in and focus on the signal and avoiding the noise. The next thing is actually building real systems. When you're traveling and bouncing between different time zones, speaking for myself, like I remember, like I would go from, there was one point of my career where me and one of my best friends, John, I'll tell you guys a story. We literally traveled half of Europe and Asia within the span of a month and a half. This was a couple years ago. I remember we met up in Romania, and I remember it like it was yesterday, because we still live this type of lifestyle. We met up in Romania, me and John. We're having fun, we're bouncing between hotels. Romania has a really good casino, so we're hitting the casino every night, we're having fun. And we had no flight out of Romania. It was 2 to 3 days in Romania. We would get pissed drunk on the third night, decide at that night, that moment, that bar, where we're going the next day. Flights booked while we're pissed drunk, wake up in the morning, boom, hit the airport, go to wherever we went. So we went from Romania, I think we went to Belgrade after that. We're in Belgrade, 2-3 days in Belgrade. We get pissed drunk on the third night. Where do we want to go? Hong Kong. Boom, okay. Next morning, flight out to Hong Kong. 3-4 days in Hong Kong. Guess what we do? Piss drunk on the third day. Where are we going now? Let's go to Tokyo. We end up in Tokyo. Then after Tokyo, I think we went to, God, I don't even remember. We were bouncing around. We went everywhere, right? And this is how my life has been structured for the longest time. Now, to live that type of lifestyle, you need to have systems in your business. And this gets me to my next point. Systems beat motivation, because motivation dies, right? If you're not building systems and you don't have employees, you don't have AI systems, you don't have processes, SOPs, whatever you want to get at, you will die. And a real business operates with systems, right? There's many examples I can give like this. For example, a lot of you guys know e-commerce. You guys followed me for e-commerce. One of the most common tasks in e-commerce is media buying, meaning like actually launching the ads, changing the ad budgets if it's doing well, dropping the ad budgets if it's doing bad. A lot of you guys might still be doing your media buying. Because of my nomadic lifestyle, I was forced to hire media buyers and train media buyers early on, because I don't know if I'll be on a flight. I don't know what country I'm gonna be in. I'm bouncing around a lot. I need someone to handle the media buying while I live this degenerate lifestyle. What about editing? I would never edit videos. I suck at editing videos, and I don't have the time to edit videos, so I need to hire editors. And to kind of break a lot of misconception out there, a lot of you guys might be thinking, okay, he's talking about hiring. I don't have money to hire. Performance-based and bonus-based structures. I had to be so creative with the structures I had for employees, because I didn't have the money or time to do it myself. I had to come up with new stuff. For example, when it comes to editors, we would give them very low base pay, like extremely low base pay, but we would tell them, if you make a winning ad, we'll pay you XYZ, we'll pay you so much more, we'll give them so much incentive. We would even give them a percentage of ad spend, just because we needed to leverage talent and people actually getting the task done in order for it to get done, because I can't do it myself. So the whole misconception of, oh, you need money to build a team and build real systems is complete bullshit. And it's people being lazy, not trying to come up with creative structures and then selling the employee on the creative structure. That's what it really comes down to, right? And till this day, I still am very creative with my salaries and structures for team members. For editors or creative strategists and media buyers, we always give them percentage here and there. We always have tier-based incentive structures. And this is all derived from the habit of me being a complete nomad and having to come up with these systems from day one. Again, systems exist beyond just giving someone money to do something. It comes into the incentivization that you build for that person, the actual SOP you follow. And these things might seem small, but they make all the difference. For example, if you tell a creative strategist like, hey, for every winning ad you make, we're gonna pay you $1,000. If you make, let's say, 70, 80K off of a winning ad, this is an estimate, and you pay them $1,000 for it, that's an 80X on whatever you got out of that you wouldn't have otherwise. And again, you need to be creative when coming up with these structures, which traveling gave to me. The next thing that traveling did for me was it built discipline. And I know this is super contradicting, because I just spent the last 10 minutes talking about how I would get pissed drunk and bounce around the world, but it built discipline to some extent, and I'll tell you guys how. Well, when you're traveling, you are exposed to new environments constantly, new distractions constantly. And to be somebody who doesn't subscribe to distractions constantly and actually are able to work throughout the day, you end up becoming more disciplined. For example, I live in Miami now. I'm typically not tempted to go out and spend money and be a degenerate because I've built like this kind of thick skin over the years because I've experienced so much. I mean, I've bounced between Japan and Asia and Europe, and some days I would just stay in and work. And on top of that as well, when I would go out and party, I would make sure to still wake up at 8 a.m. and work. I would do my best at least. I'm not gonna say I was perfect, but having discipline on actually getting stuff done was built through nomadic partying. Like for example, I remember one time when we went to Bali, the first day we arrived in Bali, me and my friend John, the same guy as before, we all went, it was a big group of us, we went out to Finn's, which is one of the popular nightclubs out there. Bro, Finn's was one of the best experiences of my life. I went to that club and like not only were the people amazing, if you guys know what I mean, you know what I mean, but like the experience was just amazing. Like it was just so fun. Like if you guys are ever in Bali, highly recommend you go to Finn's. We went to Finn's, we didn't get home till like 5 a.m. So we were like, okay, we're home at 5. We have a shit ton of work to do because it was like a 20-hour flight to get here. And you know, we weren't working on the flight. We just fell asleep on the plane. Let's just stay up and work. So we stayed up the whole day and worked, and it was like 10, 11 p.m. We were super tired and we are like, let's go to Finn's again. So we did that. We had like literally 48 hours of no sleep, but we worked and we still had fun. So it kind of built this thick skin and the ability to like work hard and play hard. And I think when people are stuck in one environment and they don't travel, they kind of get too comfortable and they lose that like adrenaline and that ability to work hard and play hard. So again, despite popular belief, traveling has built a good discipline in my life, really. Another thing a good mentor once told me, and this really stuck with me, and I'm really happy that I can share this with you guys, is when you're traveling, there are 3 main things, but you can only have 2 of them at the same time, not all 3, right? So the first one is rest and repair. So that's like sleeping and like, you know, being rested and whatnot. The second one is work and productivity. So it's like actually working, getting stuff done. And the third one is action and adventure, which is like having fun and going out. And he told me that, and he was a nomad, by the way. He was like worth 9 figures. He was a nomad, one of my first mentors. Really grateful to be in touch with that guy. He told me that you can only have 2 at the same time. So if you're going out and you're partying and you're exploring, and you also want to work and be on top of your business, you're gonna have to sacrifice sleep. If you want to be like slept in, if you want to be rested, and you also want to party and adventure and experience, you're gonna have to sacrifice work a bit, and that's where the systems come into play. Vice versa, it only works 2 out of 3. And this is something that I've lived by because, you know, traveling a lot, you have to just be really aware that like, okay, if I'm going out and I'm gonna party, but I also want to work, I have to sacrifice sleep and I have to be disciplined about that. And again, the business model we do makes it very easy for us to be able to live this lifestyle because with AI e-com, a lot of it is already done with AI. We can leverage the systems that we've built and that we teach our students. And it's way easier to live this type of lifestyle. I don't think this lifestyle would work with trading because you have to, you know, be awake and be alert to catch trades. And I don't know trading too well. I just know that it wouldn't work too well with that. So again, guys, if you guys want to learn how we're building out these AI e-commerce stores, link in bio to join Brandify. It's our community where we have multiple students and we teach people how to build, scale, and even sell your own AI e-commerce business. We have students in there doing over 100K a day. Yes, you heard that right, 100K a day. I proudly give us the award. I'm gonna give us the award of the highest student revenue in any e-commerce program out there. I think we're doing over 700K a day in student revenue, absolutely crushing it. We don't only just have beginners in there, but also like big brands. So if you guys are interested, link in bio. I'll keep moving forward here. One of the next things that really changed after I started traveling a lot was the way I think about work. I stopped thinking about work in terms of like setting up things that will make money now, but setting up things that might make money later. And this actually comes back to patience. When a lot of people have this mentality of, I'm gonna make a bunch of money, and then I'm gonna go ahead and travel the world and start living my life. Whereas you should just start living your life now and still try and make money. Who says you can't have both? Like, I know this is really cliche, but enjoy the path, bro. Like, enjoy the journey. The journey is the destination. Like, again, I know I sound like I'm out of a fucking Disney movie, but this truly gives you patience. And when you have patience because you actually like the life you live and you're not in a constant state of trying to get out of it, you build patience that allows you to make better plays and better moves. There are brands that we started and projects that we started a year ago that are making money now, but are making a shit ton of money because we were able to wait, be a little bit more intentional, move a little bit slower, but with more intent. And it's honestly resulted in us being more rich and making more money. And I think by being like, fuck it, I'm gonna travel, I'm gonna experience the world, I'm gonna live a good life, and I'm still gonna work, that's what's built this patience in me. And I wish more people got out of that mindset of like, you know, I'm gonna work super hard and then I'm gonna make a shit ton of money and I'm gonna travel. No, again, bro, travel, see the world, experience it, fall in love, fall out of love, book flights, like live your life. Because when you start living and you start being actually happy with waking up every day and you wake up with joy and energy, your work will not only become easier, but again, you'll be able to be more patient and end up actually making more money. And this is probably the best way I could end off the video. If any of you guys are like curious on like, should I live my life? Should I go out there? Is it the right time? It is, bro. And like the money will come. It always will come. I've met people who've lost everything. I've met people who've made everything. I've been through my own journey myself, and I can tell you, money will always be there. Money will always come, but your youth won't, you know? So again, guys, I hope this video motivates some of you guys, not only to start a business, but to also travel and live your life. And again, if you're interested on how we're making a crap ton of money online with e-com, link is in bio. I hope to see you guys in there. Peace out.